And Coworkly is holding a co-working space launch party, and it's happening on September 26th. We'll get all the details right now. Joining us, we say hello to the CEO of Coworkly, Maher Arar, is joining us on Daytime. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Now there's two Coworklys now at this point. Where's the first location?
The first location is located at 61 Montreal Road in Vanier. We opened in May of last year, and now we open in Westboro.
It's amazing. So why the second location?
Well, we feel there's big demand for co-working, especially so if you get closer to where people live. So we're finding there's a huge demand growing in Ottawa since the last year.
So you had a soft launch a couple of weeks back?
Correct.
September 3rd?
About actually 10 days ago.
10 days ago. And now you're going to have this big launch party, which is super fun. So why is the future of work changing? Why are these co-working spaces popping up?
Well, I think the internet has changed the world. It made the whole world a small village. So there's this trend whereby companies, in order to find good talent, they're no longer restricted by the geographical locations. So there's a lot of remote workers being hired. What happens initially, those workers work from home, but after a while they find it too isolating and sometimes too distracting. And they end up opting to try a coffee shop, but after a while they don't find it productive, and they end up looking for alternatives. Okay. This is where co-working is becoming very, very useful.
So what is the benefits then? Because you do see a lot of people in coffee shops, their laptops open, or they are staying at home. To go to a co-working space, what are some of the benefits?
When you compare this to a coffee shop, obviously a co-working space has a lot better internet and more reliable and faster internet. It does also allow you to interact with other people. You get to know, make friends over time. It's also a lot more productive, and you're not going to feel the pressure of leaving early. As when you go to a coffee shop, you always have this guilty feeling that you're only sitting the whole day on a drip coffee. And obviously, if you compare the noise level in coffee shops and co-working space, there's really no comparison. Co-working space a lot quieter than coffee shops.
And I'm sure at your space, as we saw, I mean, there's refreshments, there's coffee.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So there you go. Tell us about some of the different kinds of co-working spaces that you offer then.
Well, we focus on a certain niche, which is the remote workers and freelancers. We do not go after business people who wear suits, for example. This is not the market we're targeting. We feel the segment of the workforce is going to grow over time. By many conservative estimates, it will constitute about 30% by 2022, and it will be about 50% by 2030. So this is where things are going. It's the new generation we're targeting between the ages of 25 to 35 years of age.
Okay. Well, why should executives persuade their workers to use a space like yours?
Well, I think it's about time to give workers the flexibility and the option to work from wherever they are, especially so executive if they want to find top talent. In fact, we've spoken to many people, and they told us that they were willing to go for lower salary if their employers allow them to work remotely, either from home or from a coffee shop or from a co-working space. So I think it's a war of talents these days, and things have to be done differently than the old days for sure.
Lots was learned about you in the Kitchissippi Times, as you had a great article recently. Let's talk about the size of your area. Now it's pretty big, and you're hoping to even increase it even more.
Correct.
In time. How big is it?
So I'm glad you're asking this question, because when we read about co-working, we only read about the big giants in this industry, and whereby whenever they come to a city like Ottawa, they actually open in the downtown core, and they open a massive place, 50 to 100,000 square foot. Our strategy is very different. We would take this big space and divide it in, say, 5 or 6 spaces, each one 8 to 10,000, and open each one in where people live, in the suburbs, or west of downtown, east of the town. So the idea is to go to where people live. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense for a city like Ottawa. Especially, we have storms all the time, and I don't think people are going to commute from Kanata to downtown. They want to go to a co-working space that's near their house.
Thank you very much. I know the launch party coming up on the 26th. More details at coworkly.ca. Maher, all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on our show, and thank you for tuning in.